What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access Entertainment. As always, please hit that subscribe button. It's right down there and it's free. That enables us to keep coming to y'all as often as possible with as many interviews as possible. So please hit that subscribe button, like our content, share it, talk about it, be about it. Each one, teach one, and we appreciate your support in getting us this far. And if you haven't already, please hit that join button. It's right down there. Got 3 tiers, and that helps me take care of the good people at Unique Access Entertainment a little more than I already do. So please like, subscribe, share, and join Unique Access Entertainment. Now, today we have the honor and privilege of being joined by Freddie Old Soul. Thank you for coming through.
Yes, always love.
Yes. So Freddie and I had the benefit of being on a great panel at University of Chicago recently by our mutual friend, Robin Rue Simmons. Thank you to Robin and Jahia Allah for making that happen. And Freddie, so much to talk about because you got so much music and interesting topics yourself. So one thing is, I remember back in the day when I was first learning about you several years ago, and it stuck in my head, but you had said that you viewed yourself kind of as a healer and an MC. Is that something that you still feel? And if so, what did it mean to you back then and what does it mean to you now?
That's a great question. Back then, I was a really, I was a really angry writer. I wanted to know why the world was the way that it was. I would lock myself in the room and I would just write all day. Um, it was even a summer where I just stayed in the basement, just listening to beats and writing all throughout the summer. With so many things that happen in the open mic world of just, and shout out to the open mic world in Chicago because they are the ones that made me consciously aware of myself and what it is that I was writing about and why I was writing it. I was coming from a perspective back then that I needed to heal the world, that I was going to be this person that was going to heal the world because there's so much unjust things going on and so much illusion and just the people in Chicago need to know the truth and I ain't going to sell out and I'm in the streets and rah, rah, like I was that person back in the day. So the healer that I was back in the day, it was let me fix everything. Let me put on my cape and just go out here and speak the truth and heal the world. And as I continue to develop my artistry, the evolution of Freddie Old Soul is amazing to watch because, and to be, this is me, this is my life. I realized throughout that healing journey that, wait, it's not about nothing outside of myself. So really that little girl that was trying to heal the world really needed to heal herself. So yes, still using my rhymes to heal, just in an aspect of, just in a whole different, aspect. I'm not trying to heal the world. I'm focused on telling my story. And not always even just being in a I need to heal state because those type of people are always victimizing themselves. I can even manifest right now and say I am healed. And so this is me, Freddie Old Soul, a MC, a rapper, a woman, a healer, and a healed woman that uses her rhymes to manifest the best version of herself.
And when did that evolution and epiphany do you think take place, or what started that process and happening?
I would say when I dropped my album Soul Work.
So that was
Soul Work.
like 2019, I believe.
Literally. It was like, yo, like, what is it? How is it that you really feeling out here? And are you taking care of yourself? And that's what that was for me. It was I gotta do soul work. I gotta go within and I gotta really tap into who I am and bring that out.
And that album came on at least partially, if not the heels of the all black trill shit, which was a very
Angry.
different type of energy. So
Totally different.
so as you do that, and as an emerging artist at the time, especially in this 2017, 18, and 19 era for yourself, um, personally, professionally, creatively, where did you get the confidence or the wherewithal to say, I'm going to do this regardless because this is what I am now. I'm not that anymore.
Mm. I had made a promise to myself a long time ago where I said that I could go through anything as long as I'm able to write about it. Now, I don't know if I cursed myself because, sometimes you say things and then, oh, there it is. Like it's happening. You said it. But I know that writing for me and being an artist and creating music is something that I actually need. Like I actually physically need to do this. So even in my most uncomfortable stage of not being ready to display that part of myself, I kind of was forced to. My rhymes have always been the catalyst for change in my life in general. So it was never like something that I hesitated against, like, because my favorite rapper is Kanye. Like, we say things that need to be said, and we say them in a way that people turn their heads and they be like, what? Did she really just do that? So that's my specialty, I guess.
Well, it's interesting you say that because the first time I remember hearing of you was the Freedom Papers way back. And that, even though the sound and some of the stuff has changed, it has seemed to be a thread throughout your music of this eternal quest of freedom, even if that objective or the direction or what the freedom means at the time is different. It
Yeah.
seems as though that is your eternal quest. So, what would you say now is your freedom, and what was it back? When I was hearing that, like I think it was 2016-ish. What was your freedom then versus now?
That is beautiful. That is beautiful to even reflect on because the Freedom Papers album cover, you got Donald Trump in one of the TV screens, and I had no idea he was going to become the president.
Most people didn't, I
So,
don't think, except
yeah,
him.
like
Except him.
nobody thought that was, and that's not, I had him on there, because he's just a wild dude in general, but it was so political then. It was really, really political. I would say Freedom Papers and even all black trill shit, where you see that I have a video of a white man like holding my neck and like dumping me in water. And I'm like, what we do now? Like I'm posing questions to make people wonder. And though I do still feel like, yes, I am on that quest of freedom, kind of just how it changed was just me gaining more of uh one all black trill shit was the album that made me sonically understand like how I want to be portrayed and how I want to put the music out. How do I want it to feel when people listen to it? From the instruments, the beats, and just the production in general. Shout out to Renzel. That was when I actually first found Freddie also, I would say. Freedom Papers was like a little test, like we just gonna put this out here and see how people feel. Even though it might not come off like that to other people, that was where I was at the time. Versus all black trill shit, it's gonna be a revolution. We gonna do all black everything. Like everything ain't all sweet. We gonna go all black on their ass. Um, to then soul work being again that quest of freedom, but me posing different questions, but posing questions for myself like, do I really want to do this? Don't lay me in a casket full of dreams. Um, and just really thinking like, all right, Freddie, like, is this really what you want to do? This is really what you love. Will show the people that they can't live without you or why they can't live without you. Even up until now, we go from soul work. Then we hit 2020. We hit 2020 when COVID disrupted everything. And while everybody was going to go get toilet paper, I would say that specific time kind of pushed me a little bit back into the political energy because I did feel like people needed to know like the truth, like why are we focused on the wrong things? And so I created the first people representing we are the ones that we've been looking for. Like you are looking for this government to depend on. But if things like go left and they can't feed us no more, like what are we gonna do? So we are the first people. And then it has me on the cover pregnant. Also very major, signifying like, we continue to birth life and new ways of living. So don't panic. So yeah, I would say just the evolution in general, yes, still freeing myself, still learning new things about myself and using it all to my best ability to become the best version of myself. That's always been the main goal.
Yeah, well, the first people and then Water Music and Love are your two most recent projects, both of which I thought were excellent. And let's talk about a lot about them because with Break Bread, for instance, off the first people, that one, you're talking about rebuilding the hood. You take aim at people with Black Lives Matter, changing policies, talk about reparations, all these different things. But it's also not a very long song. You're like bringing all this stuff in a very condensed time period. So politically, songwriting wise, creatively, what made you want to like put so much in such a shorter, it's less than 3 minute song?
Yes, I really said a whole lot and I was angry. Our the people, the famous people that the celebrities that people look up to for answers, even to Kendrick Lamar, like they weren't saying anything at the time. And so many people wanted to hear from them with everything that was going on. Meanwhile, like you got real people that's out in the streets feeding people, and taking whatever it is that we got to help others at that time. So yeah, you're right. I wanted to pose the question of what's going on? Why are the people that we look up to the most not saying anything? What are we gonna do? Just being bold enough to pose those questions and to call some of my greatest, artists out, like, what's going on? Break bread with y'all niggas. If it's really everything that you rap about, then break bread. And then I wanted to leave it at that.
Okay. Because later in the first people, you have the Days of No Struggle, where you're also talking about don't come at me unless your messages bring abundance, which I thought tied in nicely because again, throughout your own artistic evolution, the quest and desire, as you say on Roses, we deserve respect, not a noose around our neck. So it's like the abundance of why are these types of things so hard for people to realize that it's about respect, it's about abundance, it's about living these positive but also beneficial things? Why do you think that those are so challenging for people to think about, to actualize?
Mm. Um, I think at that time people didn't have a choice because I mean things were really getting taken away. When you take away the constant movement of everyday life and you stuck in the house and you really can't go anywhere and you have to face those parts of yourself, and how you operate in this world, your everything that was your norm was questioned in 2020. The most valuable people to you, unfortunately, if that happened, it happened to me, was taken away at that time. 'Cause that was the year I also lost my father. Um, you have to look at yourself then, because it's everything else that made you feel good is gone now. And that was the purpose of me speaking those things into existence on the album, because once you heard it and you were in the house, then these are questions that you start asking yourself. Like, what is self-respect, and how do I feel when another Black man gets strangled in the street and I just had a baby boy? So it's definitely triggering, and I think I want to trigger people sometimes, because I want to see, like, what are you gonna do with that? And even with me writing that, and I always say, when I write, when I rap, like, I'm freeing myself. So half the time I'm telling myself the things that I need to know in order to maneuver in this world, in this life. So it was a lesson for me as well.
Yeah, because one of my favorite songs on the first people is Restless Thinking, because you're talking about it's easier to stay the same. You want a miracle, but don't want to change. And I think that, yes, we have racism, sexism, classism, all these terrible things in our society. But I also think the best way to escape or to overcome or to get past those things is for you yourself to take the action,
Right.
because that's clearly the system's not set up for success. So if it's not, the best way to do it is for you to succeed. Um, and I thought that Restless Thinking, especially coming toward the end of the first people, but also after acknowledging Roses and Days of No Struggle, here's
Right.
a solution or here's something to do. So creatively, strategically, artistically, personally, sequence wise, why did you do it that way? But then also the messaging of Restless Thinking as well.
You actually hit it right on the head, because I am not the person that will, like, okay, maybe I was before, because remember I was saying everything was about the problems and everything that's going on in the world, but I come to terms with myself and who I can become, because I create my world. Whatever I say is true is really what is true. That's the only thing you're going to see out in the world. So, yes, after posing the questions and maybe making people think about the issues that were at hand, I put it all in their hands. Like, all right, so what are we gonna do? What's the solution to all of this? Because again, it is easier to stay the same. Y'all want to see a miracle, but don't want to change. And you gotta acknowledge the things that you lack, and how you are creating part of the problem, honestly. So become consciously aware of yourself and make better decisions if you want something different. So that was my message. And that was the reason why Restless Thinking went towards the end. If I was able to create a video for that, which I just might, because I've been listening to that song a while, like a lot lately. It was gonna be like, first it was gonna start off with me walking, then it was going someone else was gonna come in. Then before you know it, as I'm walking down the street, all of these people are behind me, and we literally are for this movement of forward movement. Um, and so yeah, that's exactly the sequence. Why the sequence of the album was like that, and that's what Restless Thinking stood for me. And I was kind of also making fun of people having to be in the house and face themselves, because I was pregnant at the time. Again, like, as I'm pregnant, it's literally like, yeah, y'all would usually be outside doing whatever y'all want to do, and I'll be in the house because I'm pregnant. But like, as I'm going through a transformation within my body and creating a child, y'all are also going through a transformation within yourself. And what makes you uncomfortable makes you a better evolved person in the end. So you might as well face it. And I was kind of giving a reference of what it's like to be rebirthed. So as I'm giving birth, everyone in the world is actually being rebirthed as well.
It's a lot of adjusting going on.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like, can't go to the store without a mask on, can't no work. Look. speaking of water, music, and love, if you are in Chicago on Juneteenth, because you know it's a celebration, and Juneteenth is on a Monday, make sure you come join us at Lincoln Hall plus Shubas. That will be a show to remember. It is my first headliner show, and we will be performing the entire album, Water, Music, and Love. So if you want to come to the show, make sure you follow me at Freddie Farted. That's Freddie with an IE on all social media platforms. And you will see that the link is in my bio for tickets. Come join me.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
It would be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Your MTV Raps with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.